Hey guys, Samwing7 here, and today gonna be the third video now on the Apex Season 5 update. Already up to 3. That's kind of crazy. I don't feel like with the other seasons I'd only do 1, maybe 2 on just like the general impressions and stuff like that. Now we're up to 3 for this one. I guess I am doing like shorter, more focused videos instead of like the other ones. I just sort of do what I did at the end of the last one and just sort of blast everything off, but so yeah, I guess it's a little bit different there, but I don't know. 3 videos on it. Take what you will from that, whether it be positive or negative. For me, it's just a lot of stuff to talk about with it. So where we left off the last one, we'll have to get into the weapons. So I think we just finished out. I was talking about the legend changes, and let's actually go back and talk about that a little bit more, because I kind of just absolutely barreled through those and did not give a lot of time to give my thoughts on those. So for the ones that I don't care about too much, or that I don't think affects the game too much, again, the Bloodhound, the Crypto, and the Lifeline changes. Well, I guess I'll talk about Octane on his own. So yeah, those changes are like Bloodhound, just a nice little buff, cool. Any Bloodhound buff is fine in my opinion. He's nowhere near close to being OP, but I'm glad that Bloodhound has been getting buffs pretty consistently recently. So yeah, I'm totally fine with that. No problem there. When it comes to the Crypto one, again, it's just a nice little update to help out Cryptos a little bit. Is it gonna, are we gonna see every squad run a Crypto after this change? No. Which, if you want to refresh on it, it's you can now ping banners while you're in the drone, as they say, to warn teammates of nearby squads. So just a little bit more awareness. Something that's nice, I guess, if you're playing without a mic, or if you're playing with randoms, if you're just like solo queuing, I guess it'd be nice for that. But yeah, because of the fact that it is more so geared towards that, don't think we're gonna see Cryptos in every squad. So it's a good change, but it's not much. The Lifeline one, they removed knockdown shields from the secret compartment in her loot bins, which is really nice because those were useless 99% of the time. So that's really good, and they increased the Lifeline bin ratio, so the spawn rate, to 20%. So that's pretty good, I guess. Like, it's not, again, it's another thing that's not gonna, Lifeline's not gonna be OP. She's not gonna be like tier 1, but it's a nice little change to maybe get a little bit more out of running Lifeline. The Caustic one, where the gas no longer slows teammates. I think I mentioned in the last part when I was going through it really quickly that the traps not being triggered from the other side of a door is a really big change, and I've noticed that. I ran into a lot of Caustics yesterday in particular, and I noticed that that being a thing actually did switch it up a lot, the way you were able to play those situations with the buildings. So and potentially being able to like shoot gas through a window or something like that, and not to like other situations where you'd just run next to a door and trip it off, and it'd be like kind of annoying. And now you can kind of get the lay of the land first and see what's going on, kind of come up with a plan if the team's camping inside of a building and what to do. You're not just immediately in gas and disoriented and pissed off. So that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. Good change, even, I would say. The gas no longer slowing teammates. I think this is what I mentioned in the last one. I'm just gonna go over this quickly again. I'd say a lot of big opinions on this one. People can be pretty split on this one, and the Respawn team themselves seem not too convinced on it, but it was such a community request that they decided to add it in and see how it goes. Personally, again, I think the same thing that I thought before. I think that on console, I really don't think this is that big of an issue. I don't think it's going to make Caustic that super strong. On PC, it might. On PC, Caustic might be a little questionable, a little overpowered with this. Console, no, doubt it. Absolutely doubt it. Highly doubt that'll make that much of a difference because of the way aim assist works. So maybe they'll have to do it different for different platforms. I don't know. That'd be kind of weird, and especially with crossplay coming in, you can't really do that. So it's just one of those weird situations, and this does happen and with shooters sometimes, where again, platform difference. On a console, this is not really that much of an issue at all. On PC, it could be a huge issue, and that's just something that Respawn needs to figure out how they're going to want to do that. The Octane buff is fine. The Gibraltar nerf is fine. I don't want to say too much more about those. The Pathfinder one, a lot of, well, I would say most people have been putting a negative opinion towards this one and are saying, it's like the RIP Pathfinder, F and chat for Pathfinder. Pathfinder's fine. I don't think this is gonna kill Pathfinder. His passive is still really strong in ranked. Being able to know where the zones are going next is extremely strong. The grapple itself is still really strong. Yes, that cooldown does hurt, but you can still get some insane grapples and make up a lot of time to where, and you can also, I was going to say, you can make up a lot of time to where even with that increased cooldown, people still won't be able to catch up to you. But on top of that, you can also get up to height. There's still lots of height areas where if you're going against a team that doesn't have, probably isn't going to happen very often, but doesn't have like an Octane, a Loba, their own Pathfinder, you can really mess with them. Like, I don't know. I still think Pathfinder's fine. The zipline's still one of the best rotational tools in the game. I do think they should meet in the middle here a little bit. I do think 35 seconds is a little too much. I think it should be somewhere around like 25, somewhere in the middle. So I do hope they adjust that a little bit. Is it going to kill Pathfinder? Again, no, don't think so. But I do think they should meet it in the middle somewhere because it's a little excessive. Now let's get on to the final stuff potentially for our Season 5 like overview videos. So weapon and loot updates. So a lot of changes here. So the new gold weapons are the longbow, Hemlock, Spitfire, EVA 8, and RE45. New gold guns to play with. I don't really end up even running into the gold weapons that often. It's something that doesn't really affect the gameplay too much. So I mean, if you're looking for new gold weapons to play with, and you really like the longbow, the Hemlock, the Spitfire, the EVA, or the RE45, now guess what? You go to those hot drops, you can find one of those for your gold guns. So there you go. The Mastiff and the Peacekeeper have had a lot of changes. So this is the real meat and potatoes here. This is probably gonna be the main discussion. So basically, the Mastiff and the Peacekeeper got switched, similar to the L-Star and the Devotion, kinda. Where they put the L-Star in the regular rotation, put the Devotion in the care package. They did something similar here. They put the Mastiff in the regular rotation, and they put the Peacekeeper in the care package. And I actually did get to use the Peacekeeper a little bit now. I think that at the time of recording last video I didn't, but I did get to use it a little bit last night. So I've gotten a bit of a look at both sides, and personally, I don't think this change is as bad as I've seen some people over exaggerating it to be. I have definitely seen some reactions where it's like, this is the end of the world. Like, what is this Mastiff thing? It's literally just gonna be Mastiff. And personally, I haven't experienced that yet. Maybe I'm lucky, I don't know, but I have not experienced that yet. And I've also, from using the Mastiff and from going against people using the Mastiff, I find it very inconsistent. I find that the Mastiff, a lot of the times, I felt like I was pretty consistent with the Mastiff when it was a drop weapon, but now on the ground regularly, I don't find those insane hits that people are saying that they found. I think I had like 100 plus yesterday, and I was using the Mastiff a lot. And a lot of people are just saying like, oh, it's just 100 plus guaranteed. When I've been using the Mastiff, it's like 60. Like 60 is a good hit, I would say. Like a nice 60 to 70 is a really good hit. I would say that I get 20s, 30s, 11s all the time. And it's maybe a little bit more damage than you'd be doing with those bad shots than with the PK, but personally, I found the higher end shots, like the ones that are doing the most damage, way more consistent with the PK. Just me personally, I felt like I could hit 100 pluses a lot more consistently with the PK when that was in than the Mastiff here, which is weird because when the Mastiff was in the drop, I don't know if the spread changes are that much. When the Mastiff was in the drop, I felt like I was very good at hitting those consistent 100 pluses with the Mastiff, but now as the normal weapon, I haven't found that to be the case as much. So is it a good change, the Peacekeeper and the Mastiff being switched up? Probably not, because there is one thing that does make the Mastiff really overpowered compared to the Peacekeeper, okay? So it's not comparing the guns themselves, not like Peacekeeper versus Mastiff entirely, but the fact that the Mastiff, you can shoot it, you can switch weapons, and you can switch weapons back to the Mastiff, and you don't have to pump it. It's not a pump action shotgun like the Peacekeeper is. That that is what might make the Mastiff a little overpowered as a normal weapon compared to the Peacekeeper. That actually makes a huge difference. So as far as like the weapon stats themselves comparatively, the Peacekeeper in the drop is probably better than the Mastiff, but I do think that the Mastiff, like I said, I do think that the Mastiff not having the pump action maybe does make it a little overpowered and gives a bit of a case for the Peacekeeper and the Mastiff to be switched back. And I think that this change is probably something that Respawn did just because they didn't have a new weapon. There's no new weapon in this patch. And they just didn't have a new weapon planned, and they wanted to do something to really like switch things up. And it seems like change for the sake of change, maybe not very well thought out. So I don't think it's game breaking like I've seen a lot of, but it's probably not good for the balance of the game. It's probably not balanced. Game breakingly OP? No. Is everybody in every situation gonna have to run a Mastiff? I don't think so, but it is really strong and probably needs some adjustment. So that's where I'm at on it. I do think there's a middle ground to be found there. I think people are freaking out a little bit too much though still. So there's my opinion on that. Moving down, the alternator. So basically they just gave the alternator a mag buff. So the default magazine with the alternator is 19 bullets now. It goes to 22 with the white, 25 with the blue, and 27 with the 3. Sure, I do think that was something that was bad with the alternator, was the mag size. Now that you can spam it a little bit more, maybe the alternator has a little bit more utility, maybe. So yeah, I don't really get the point of this one. I think that the alternator needed to change somewhere else, like maybe in the damage department or something. I don't think that the mag size is going to make it better than an R9 or a 301 now, or I guess like a Prowler Select Fire. I don't think it's going to be the case. But hey, I guess when you're using the alternator as that attachment holder, now you can spray people down a little bit more. And maybe if they hit a really bad R9 spray and you could just keep shooting slow, consistent shots with the alternator, maybe you just end up killing them. So it's something that may make the alternator a little more viable against people that are not as good. But against a good player with an R9, you're still gonna get smoked, I think. Increased the damage and slightly adjusted the reload time, made it a little bit faster. With the RE45, that's cool. I'm cool with a little RE45 buff. Is it going to make it meta? No, but I'm totally fine with the gun being a little bit better. And I actually did use it a little bit yesterday, and it did seem a little bit better. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with a reason to use the RE45 now. They adjusted the recoil on the Havoc. I've tried it a little bit. Is it noticeable? Yes. Is the Havoc still really good? Yes. I don't know if this recoil change was entirely what needed to happen. After a few hours of play, I started to get used to the new recoil again, and that's what's going to happen. Most people that weren't used to it, they're just going to get a few hours and they're going to get used to it, and then the Havoc's just going to be as good as it was. So, are you going to miss a few more shots with this new recoil pattern? Yes. Are you still going to be melting the shit out of people with it? Yes. That's the way I think here. They added Skull Piercer back in for the hop-ups. They got rid of Anvil Receiver. Not happy with that. I'm happy with Skull Piercer being added in. I wish they kept Anvil. I really liked the way Anvil played with the Flatline and the 301. Thought it added a lot of utility, a lot of versatility to those guns, made them feel really unique. And I'm really sad about Anvil being gone, but I'm happy that Skull Piercer's back. Skull Piercer's a really fun attachment. They reduced the headshot damage on the... I'll get the screenshot up there for the kills, by the way. We're almost done here. So they reduced the headshot damage normally for the Wingman and the Longbow, so that the Skull Piercer is stronger, I guess. That's maybe kind of annoying, or maybe kind of bad for the balance, honestly, because now it's like, could be very, like, it's already a big advantage if you have the Skull Piercer and you're going against someone that doesn't. Now it's even like more so of an advantage. So I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like that's probably unnecessary. Just make the Skull Piercer stronger if you're going to do that, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Last change, which is pretty big, they changed gold armor. Gold armor actually makes sense on Lifeline now. So basically, shield cells and syringes give you double. So you take one shield cell with gold armor. It takes the same amount of time as it always does, but it works as if you're taking 2 shield cells. You take 1 syringe, it's the same amount of time as it takes to take 1 syringe, but it gives you 2 syringes worth of health. And they got rid of course, to balance this, they got rid of the 50% heal speed buff with the gold armor. With this, I find the gold armor a lot different. I don't find the gold armor as scary. Gold armor was insanely strong the past couple seasons. Yeah, gold armor was absolutely crazy in season 4. It was ridiculous. If you had a team full of golds, you were just chilling. It was the strongest thing in the game by far. Now the gold armor is useful. Is it overpowered? No. I would say the gold armor was definitely overpowered before. Now it's just a little bit of a buff. I would honestly take red over gold now, personally, if I had the choice to have red Evo Shield. I'll take gold over purple, though, of course. But if I had the choice to take red Evo Shield and I'm not Lifeline, maybe with Lifeline I'll take the gold over the red. But other than that, I'm probably just sticking with the red. I'm probably just sticking with the red now. At the same time, though, do I think this gold armor change is bad? No. You're still taking the gold armor over purple. You're still taking the gold armor over everything except for red. You're still taking it, yeah, everything except for red, you're still taking it over. So it's still good. It's still useful, and it still helps. It's just not overpowered like it was before. I think it's maybe in a good spot now. All right, so there's a really crazy game in the background. A lot of discussion here. We went ham at the end again, of course. It's just what happens. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and maybe some other gameplays coming up later. But this is maybe the last. Oh man, I didn't talk about the hit reg. No. Okay, so maybe you know what? I'll just add some more gameplay in the video. I'm sure I'll figure it out. Probably watching it right now. I should talk about this. I should finish this out. So, the biggest, after all those, that was like all the update changes, right? It went through all the update changes, all that stuff. We went through all of that. What really needs to be discussed here is the hit registration. The hit registration, if you're not aware, is awful. The hit registration is awful in Season 5 at the moment. The hit reg works. Sometimes it actually will only hit like 50% of your shots that you're actually hitting, and it's varying. It feels random. Like sometimes your hit reg will feel perfect. Sometimes it'll feel like every other shot's not counting. Sometimes it'll feel like if you're using like an R9, a lot of your shots won't count. Sometimes it'll be like two or three bullets in a spray. It is very inconsistent. It is very random, and obviously, as you guys could expect, having hit reg issues in a first-person shooter is a bit of an issue. And that's like the one thing that you really do not want to have in a first-person shooter is hit reg issues. And it is really bad right now. And they pushed out a hotfix yesterday that, as far as I'm concerned, didn't do anything. It felt just as bad after the patch. I don't think the patch did anything. So hopefully Respawn can get on top of that and get some patches going that actually do something and actually work on the hit reg a little bit and fix it. Hopefully they can fix this within like the next week or so, because it is bad, and it sucks because Season 5 is a really, the launch of a new season is always a really big opportunity for Apex. It's always super important. They could bring in a lot of new players with the launch of every new season. Loba's huge. She's insanely popular. The trailers for Season 5 have been doing really well. I mean, the viewership has been up on Twitch a lot. It's a really big opportunity for them every single time. And, people come into the game, and half their bullets aren't counting. They might just put down the game. Like, that's the way it is, That happens. There are games that I've tried in the past where it could be just like a bug or two in the beginning that are annoying enough to just turn me off of the game, and I just don't play the game. Like, this has happened to me before. I'm sure this has happened to every person that, plays a variety of games and goes through an entire catalog, that this has happened to all of you. Where that's sometimes what can happen. Like sometimes something as little as that can just turn you off of a game. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of people that are jumping into Apex right now that are being turned off for that very reason. You know what I mean? There's quarantine time. We're in a crazy time right now. Plenty of entertainment being consumed. Plenty of stuff to check out. And yeah, people are just gonna be like, okay, why am I gonna sit here and wait for them to fix Apex? I could just go ahead and play Siege. I could just go ahead and play Overwatch, whatever, COD, whatever it is. I could just go play another game. I could just go play Witcher 3, whatever it is. A lot of those people are just going to be doing that. They're just going to be turned off the game, and they're just going to be moving on to something else, and that's really bad. That's really bad for Respawn. You really, like, little bugs are fine. You really cannot have a bug this big at the launch of a season. That's just a huge issue and could be hurting their player count a lot. So Respawn, get working on that, get that patch out, get that hotfix out as soon as possible, because for your hardcore player base, it really sucks. It's really unfortunate that I like Season 5 a lot so far. I'm liking most of the changes. It almost feels like a new game. I'm enjoying it a ton. Really liking Season 5. But at the same time, this hit reg shit is really, 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 really bad. And I wouldn't say that like I'm not saying that I'm gonna put down season 5 anytime soon. Like, I'm still enjoying it. It's just a testament to how good it is. I'm still enjoying it enough to the point where like I'll still keep playing. But if I wasn't such an Apex fan, if I wasn't as invested as I am in Apex right now, I would probably just put down the game. I would probably just put down the game with how bad the hit reg issues are right now. It has gotten me killed multiple times. It maybe has saved my life multiple times. You never know. Who knows? You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on from the enemy's perspective. It's definitely gotten me killed. I know that from my perspective. How many times have I been killing people because of it? I don't know. Who knows? Like, you can't really tell what's going on right now. And it's just yeah, it's just really unfortunate and really frustrating to play. So if you guys, I'm gonna be streaming, I'm gonna keep streaming, and Apex though throughout, and if you come on the stream and check it out, look out for those hit reg issues because it's very obvious. And just to explain it quick, because some people seem to not understand it for some reason. So when you shoot people, and I don't know why this is so hard to understand, but for some reason I've just seen that a lot. Like, a lot of people have had difficulty with understanding it. So let me go through this. So when you shoot people, just to explain the hit reg issue, right? When you shoot people in most first-person shooters, what do you get? Okay, think about it. Couple seconds. Jeopardy theme. Bam, 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 bam. I'm going full Dave Portnoy right now. All right. What do you get? Did you think like hit marker, right? Number 1, like hit marker. Okay, good. Number 2, again, most games you get like blood, or in Halo, like you see the shields. In Apex, you like see the shields. You get some sort of visual indicator besides the hit marker. So you get like the hit marker visual indicator, that's 1. You get like the visual indicator on the body, like the blood or the shield, something, that's 2. 3, you get the hit marker sound. And that one sort of varies. So like some games there's a hit marker sound. Some games you get like in Apex you get like the shield sound. Stuff like that. So you get some sort of sound, right? You get like a visual indicator, like hit marker on your screen. You get a visual indicator on the person you're shooting, and 3, you get that audio cue. So what's happening? How you know that you get wrong hit reg or bad hit reg is when you hear the audio cue, but you do not see the visual cue. That's when you know that you actually hit the guy and it just didn't count. Or sometimes it'll still show most of the time actually, it'll still show the blood as well. So you'll get everything but the hit marker. You'll get the audio cue, you'll get the visual cue on the body, the shield, or the blood, and you will not get the hit marker. So when that happens, that is how you know that you got robbed, essentially, that you got bad hit reg. So just to explain that really quickly at the end, because for some reason I've seen a lot of people having difficulty understanding that. I didn't think it was that hard to understand, but apparently it is. So there it is. There's the hit reg issue. And hopefully Respawn can get to fixing that, and we'll probably, I don't know, maybe we'll just do a fucking season 5 podcast at this point, because I could keep going on, even though we've already went on a while for these last 3. All right, so I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm gonna chalk the video there. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on stream or next video. Later.